Some of the tens of thousands who heeded the warnings got stuck in massive traffic jams, waited in hours-long lines at a dwindling number of gas stations still equipped with fuel, and were forced to bounce from city to city as the storm kept changing its path. Craig Fugate, a former chief of the Federal Emergency Management Agency who lives in Gainesville, Florida, and lost power during Irma, said he understands such experiences may lead some to stay home next time in hopes of riding out the storm. People start rationalizing, "It's not that bad to stay here," Fugate said. If people in the evacuation zones start drawing this conclusion, that is not a good thing. Psychologist Nora Baladarian, who specializes in anxiety and depression among trauma victims, said an event such as a mass evacuation can put mental stress on people that impairs their decision-making ability during the next crisis. Obviously there are some who would say, "Let's do all we can to survive, and since the experts are saying it is best to evacuate, that is what we will do," she said. However, some will not be able to make the effort, and may remain in harm's way, saying, "Come what may, I've made my decision." "We were so relieved once we arrived here and once we knew Irma wasn't coming this way," Rollo said in a text message interview from Biloxi. "It's been a very scary experience. I've never been through any of this." Jenny Lee Molina says her evacuation put a strain on her family's finances. Molina said the nomadic uncertainty gave her an inkling of what it must be like to flee war zones and oppression. "It made me think about the immigrant experience and the refugee experience. You're arriving somewhere that doesn't feel like home at all," she said. Before she had a family, her attitude about evacuating was, "We'd have a hurricane party and stock up on beer and junk food. That was more my lifestyle. But now," she says, "with a child, I would never stay with a storm at Category 3 or up." Pallet said she's likely to stick it out next time, maybe buy a power generator and reinforce her home to withstand strong storms. Still, she said she does understand why authorities urged her and others to evacuate for Irma, which was so unpredictable. "It's a really hard call," Pallet said. "This was such an unknown, it could gain strength, and it was breaking all records. People who have never lived through a hurricane often have a hard time understanding why anyone would stay in the path of one. Are you stupid? Get out of there," he wrote. But everyone has their reasons, or rationalizations. And when you've survived a few of these things, you figure, what's one more? Associated Press writer Adriana Gomez-Lycan in Miami contributed to this report.